And we are live, everybody. But before we go, let's kick this pig.
The views and opinions expressed by the guests of Sasquatch Experience do not necessarily reflect the opinion of the hosts, sponsors, or affiliates of the Sasquatch Experience. As always, listener discretion is advised.
911, what are you reporting?
We got someone or something crawling around out here.
Does a legend walk among us, lurking in the forests of our world?
Did you see what it was? Was it a person or an animal or?
I can't tell. All I know is that my sensor light came on and I just happened to glimpse and see this thing running across the yard. A good-sized man or something looks like a man. I don't know what it was.
For over 15 years, we've talked with scientists, researchers, investigators, and witnesses, trying to gain insight and proof around the existence of this mysterious entity.
Jesus Christ, you better...
Sir?
Tia!
Hello?
Get somebody out here.
What's going on now, sir?
That son of a bitch is about 6'9", I don't know.
Do you see him now, sir?
Yes, I'm looking right at him.
Uh-oh. Okay, hang on.
He's right...
Is he in your yard, sir?
Yeah, God, he's big.
Okay, what's he doing in your yard?
He's looking at me.
Join us as we continue into the investigation of the Sasquatch Experience. Thanks for that. An applause. A live audience here tonight. Very good, folks. I'm Sean Forktop Porker. Down below me is James Baker. Off to the left of me, or right of me, or whatever direction you're looking at, Vance Nesbitt, Henry May, and our guest tonight, the incomparable Bill Rigby, PA researcher and podcaster over at the Agent of the Unexplained. Bill, thanks for joining the rowdy bunch here tonight.
No, not at all. Not at all. Welcome, Bill. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Welcome, Bill. Thank you for having me, guys. It's going to be fun. I know that.
Well, the pre-show it was.
One thing I'm really happy about right now is Baker got here in time.
Yeah.
Right on. Right on.
Yeah.
We're gonna
No.
Glad he's here.
He slid into third base like a World Series game right at the last minute. Boy, oh boy. Talk about last second timing.
I was going to give him a moment to make a third base joke, but I think just for the interest of family.
Presentation. There you go.
Jokes have third base in your family in them.
Oh, there it is.
And so it starts. There it is.
Oh, folks, we got a great guest on the show tonight. Good friend of mine, Bill Rigby. Bill now has kind of jumped on the scene as of late. I met Bill at a couple conferences, and I've seen, he hits just as many conferences as I do, I believe. Bill's a paranormal cryptid researcher from the state of Pennsylvania. Currently is the co-executive director of the Pennsylvania Bigfoot Project and host of Agents of the Unexplained podcast. I was just on with Bill weeks ago. Bill has been heavily involved in Bigfoot research in PA over the last few years, a frequenter of many events and a supporter of many researchers, and he really is. He's a good friend. He promotes everything we're doing, and we try to keep that going. But we've made a real tight network, I think, of researchers amongst the state and surrounding states, and it's really, Bill's a good part of keeping everybody supported and active. When he's not on, he try, and you do a good job of it. You really do. When he's not on the air, Bill is a boots on the ground researcher, constant looking for signs and evidence of this mystery. And while keeping an open mind mentality, he also keeps it real with a skeptical approach to evidence and reports presented to him. And it's his first appearance here on the Sasquatch Experience, Bill. So thanks for joining us.
I'm
thanks, Bill.
Being here. I really am.
We're excited to have you
here.
here.
You guys are a great bunch of guys, and Well, Henry's smiling about that. I give you props too, Henry.
He's not paying attention to us. He's watching porn. It's the only thing.
I think he is.
Wow.
The only reason
That's what Elvis smile. It goes
Turn the
from 10
camera to the
10.
porn for us. We want to see which type you are actually watching.
Oh, there we go. Wow. Anyhow, this is how things got to control, folks. But that's why you tune in each and every week for each and every other week for this show. But Bill, let's go back a little bit. And how did you get involved in this research? What, have you always been interested in it? And what made you decide to start stepping into the field?
Well,
Microphone.
Back to the P&G film, like everyone else. Oh, the P&G film, we've seen that. I did, but I was young, and it's like, yeah, all right, I'm a believer. Did I start researching? No. It's like, okay, it's out there, but it's out west, whatever. Well, back in the late 90s, I'm living in Indiana County, PA, and always in the woods. Well, as a kid, I was always in the woods too. But when living there, I lived in the woods. If I wasn't working, I was in the woods. I think maybe that's why my wife divorced me back then. But anyhow, it's a good possibility. I started seeing structures, different tree structures, and I'm thinking, I see them in all the woods I go, all over this state. And I hunted all over the state. And I'm like, this ain't adding up. So I start researching about tree structures, what's causing them, whatever. And first I started checking YouTube, and I found this one guy who's doing this thing about Sasquatch and building structures on his property. He's going up in the woods. And then he's like some of these TV shows now. Something's there. And he turns and looks after there's a sound behind him. And he turns and pans and there's nothing there. And then I start researching him, found out he's a hoaxer. So then I decided, all right, get away from the YouTube, start checking into other things. And I started seeing where, definitely could be Bigfoot. So then on Facebook, I saw some groups, and one of the first ones I joined was the Pennsylvania Sasquatch Research. I joined that group in there and start seeing stuff posted there. And the one person there, and he became my mentor, and I started following him, and that's Jamie King.
Yeah, good dude.
And I started following him and the way he researched, and he started making me more of a believer. And then I ended up joining the Pennsylvania Bigfoot Project, and I really started getting involved with them. And I went out on a couple researches with Mary Fabian and a couple of the other people, and I kept telling Mary, I'm a believer. We're finding this stuff. I'm really getting into this. So me and Brenda Sproul decided we're going out to the reservoir near us, and we went walking up into the woods, got up into the pines, saw something moving, don't know what it was. And that when we walked in, this is in March, the water level's way down at the reservoir. We're walking along the tree line before we go up in. When we come back out, we go down closer to the water. We found a trackway that went for over 100 yards.
Oh, wow.
14-inch print by 5-inch wide. You can see the toe impression, the metatarsal breaks. I just start flipping out. I'm walking beside these prints, and I weighed 170 pounds, and I wasn't hardly even making an indent. And this thing was going 3/4 to an inch deep, these imprints. It's like, wow, what the heck's this? The spread was 5 foot. I even took a video of it. Well, right away, I ran to my vehicle, got the casting material. I'm trying to mix it all up, made the cast. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Brenda, she ran to Walmart, got plaster there so she could make a cast. And I'm waiting and I'm waiting. She gets back, and I'm not thinking, all right, the ground's wet. We're close to the water. I should let this sit for at least 24 hours. No. 2 hours later, I'm going to pull it up. I destroyed it.
Yep. It happens.
Yeah, it's like dummy me. And then turn around. She did hers. And I put 4 sticks around in a plastic bag over it. So none of the birds or anything will walk on it. And we left it till the next day. We'd come back. Brenda and we dug out around it, got it pulled up, got it turned over, started cleaning the dirt off of it. A big stone in the middle of it.
Oh,
yeah. So, which, yeah, in that area we should have known. But then, later that year, Mary Fabian kept saying, "If you really want to have a sighting, go to Salt Fork." And I'm thinking, I'm not going to Salt Fork to have a sighting. Everybody and their damn brother goes to Salt Fork State Park. And I'll either get a hoaxer or nothing. And finally, Jack Warren invited me to go to the Soapy camp out. And I went, all right, I'll go. What the heck? Get to meet some other Bigfooters.
That's supposed to be that's Doug Waller and those folks, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes. It's Doug's group, definitely. And so I go down there, and I told Mary I was going. She says, "Oh, you're going? Save me a spot next year. I'll come camp too." All right, whatever. I'm down there. Jack was already there. I was second there. A few other people came in, and Mary comes in. Then Debbie Preggy, who's with our group, she comes in. Mike Bennett from the Soapy guys. He was there. He said, "Come on, we'll go searching a little bit." All right, I'm down with that. That's why I'm here. We go traveling around. We come back to the camp area, which is the group camp area. And he says, "Oh, let's take a walk down the Buckeye Trail." And we'll go in maybe 90 paces, stop, look around, listen, and see what's up. Okay. Tommy says he was there the next day after me. That was this past summer, Tommy, or this past fall. This was, well, it'd be 2 years this August that this happened. So we get in there about 90 paces, checking out down below, listening. Had some small nuts and stones getting tossed at us from the left side. Okay, let's head on in. There might be someone there trying to spook us. Who knows? We take about another 90 paces in, and same thing was happening. And Debbie goes, "I'm getting scared. I don't want to go any farther." I said, "I'll go up. You, Mike, stay there. And nothing gets tossed hard at me. I'll let you know, and I'll listen too and call you guys up." Well, I had a little scope, which was Debbie's. Now, I head on down about 90 paces. I kneeled down to one knee. I'm looking out the scope like this here. I'm trying to adjust it. Out of my right eye, I saw a little movement. And I turned and looked to the right, and there it was, 15 feet, staring at me, down on its knee and hand in front of it. Scared the living crap right out of me. And it's like, what the? And
Wow.
Turn around, and I stood up. It stood up. And I could see the muscle tones. I can see. Is he playing music again? Then I see how long the hair was. I seen the face. I wouldn't stare in the eyes. To me, when you stare at a predator in the eyes,
Right.
it's aggression. And
Right.
that close, I did not want to get. No, I was scared enough, and I don't get scared of shit. And I'm being dead serious.
Mm-hmm.
And I start backpedaling quick back up to Debbie and Mike, and it turned and started going down over the hill. I did not hear it come into that area. I did not hear it go down over the hill, which going down over the hill, I know is from the fear factor. My hearing shut down.
Mm-hmm.
And I get back up to Mike and Debbie, and I go, did you see it? And Mike says, yeah, I saw Bigfoot's ass. What? He says it was running down over the hill. Really? And now I'm panicking. I really am, but I'm trying to stay cool. Now, big man here, he don't get scared or nothing. Now, I was scared. And we head back up out of there. We go back up, and Mary was at her truck, and I told her about it. And Mike went and told everyone else. They all come around. Let's go back down there. Not yet. I ain't going yet. I'm not doing it. Not yet. I'm scared. And finally, about an hour later, everyone got their guns on them, headed down, and we ended up going way down down the hill. Farther in, we found 2 different size tracks going across the trail. So there had to be one to the left of us, and that one I saw on the right of us, and there had to be another one there. So that just totally freaked me out. And I'm about ready to say, the hell with it, I'm going home.
Funny how that happens, huh?
But I'm like, no, I'm better than this. But it still took me a few weeks to get over the PTSD of being afraid.
And we talked about that, Bill, you and I, how,
yes,
I think no matter how much you try to prepare yourself for having an experience or wanting to be in that mindset when you have the encounter, the reality is when it happens, it's just an overload. You don't expect it.
Yes. And
go ahead. I'm sorry, Bill.
And I didn't expect it at that point, and actually being that close, it still bothers me to this day. It was that close, and I did not know it was there. And that bothers me because I've had military training. I've done emergency services. I've been in the woods all my life. I know what to look for and how to look and how to listen to stuff. And like I said, I did not hear it come into there. I did not see it come into there. I don't know. It just totally blows my mind that it was able to do that.
It's unnerving. A very unnerving experience, Bill.
Yeah, and I still get choked up a little bit over it. And just because I did get scared. And like I told you before, Sean, I ran in the middle of a gunfight to save a little kid. Yeah. I didn't care if I was going to get shot. I snagged that kid up and ran right back through the gunfire with him, holding him close to my body. It's just, you just don't know.
What do you think made this so different in your mind? What do you think made this different than any other form of kind of fear or lack of fear you've experienced?
I've been up against some big guys, and they never scared me. This thing made these big guys look like midgets, and I saw the muscle tones. And seeing the hair and realizing these things are real. Yeah. And some of the stories I heard how they get aggressive.
Sure.
And it's like, in my mind right away said, "You're dead, Bill," because of the size of this thing. And the grace of the man upstairs, it wasn't an aggressive one. So, but it took me a few weeks to get over all that.
I think we often hear about aggressive reports, but when you put that in perspective with how many sighting reports there are, Bill, of things that don't happen, where they're just a flighting encounter or a roadside crossing. Like I think it's just human nature for us to think, wow, these things are monsters and they could kill us. And when you run into something like that, so immense and so large, it amplifies that internal fear. And I completely understand your process for it. I just try to understand a little bit more for folks who may not, have had an experience or an encounter. We go back, Bill, and folks that knew my encounter, I almost quit this field in general. And you empathize with that because you said, it.
Yeah.
It's trying and it's scarring. It really is. And you talk about a PTSD, as we talked with Ron as well. PTSD isn't just a symptom of war. It's a symptom of trauma. And however your mind or body interprets that trauma is, which causes that reaction. And it really is shocking and jarring. And folks, if you really haven't explained it, I bring folks like Bill on here and talk to other people. And like Baker and I, when he and I did our presentation at Hocking Hills, we had that gentleman, that veteran who came up to us after in tears, thanking us for, speaking about the trauma that witnesses endure, because it's something that isn't talked about. Because I think in our core, we all want to be tough guys, Bill, right? We all want to have a certain amount of, gravitas. But when it comes out to something like that, we're absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
We're not the alpha predator in that instance.
Yeah. And that bothered me. Because I was always the alpha, and I'm being honest, I was always the alpha. I always had to be the alpha. And I realized at that point I was not. Now I was the baby. And, a few weeks after my encounter, I went with a group of Bigfooters from all over the place camping together. And it was just to camp and socialize and that. Well, the first night they asked me during the group big campfire area that if I'd want to talk about my experience. And I did, and it was kind of hard at first for me to get it out there. And then I'm allowed to use his name. He told me I can use his name anytime. Joe Kesky got up right after me to talk about his. Now, his bluff charged him, was coming at him from across the pond and come running through the pond toward him. Mm-hmm. And I had my head down, listening to his story. I had my eyes closed. And I was just sitting there shaking because I could sense the fear he had with that because of the fear I just went through. And mine didn't come after me. And I started to cry a little bit. I ain't ashamed to admit it. It got to me. His story really got to me. And I was trying to figure out why was his bluff charging him and mine didn't bluff charge me? Or why didn't mine come after me like his did him? I had a hard time trying to figure that one out. Other than, I talked to a lot more people about it. And what it was either there was a baby on the other side of that pond and the mother didn't want, because they were headed there toward the pond, didn't want them there, or a group of them was on a hunt. I don't know. That's a possibility.
Sure.
And because the more, like you said, Sean, the more the sightings there is, most of them are, I'm going to say 97% of them I've heard were not non-aggressive.
Yeah, I agree with that.
There's some bluff charging to get you away or stones or stuff tossed at you, but they physically come out to attack you, no.
Well, When you think about the reports of cars being shaken, campers being shaken, tents being touched, I guess you'd have to kind of clarify what you mean by aggressive. I think anything where it gets physical of some sort. A bluff charge, I don't really consider that. I mean, it's an intimidation technique, but it's not really a lot of times they don't end up. In fact, I don't know of any bluff charge that's
end up very dangerous. They're just trying to charge you away from the area.
Absolutely. Intimidation technique. I've never seen one where they're getting where it ends up in like a tackle or some sort of
no. And the other thing too, with touching the cars, the tents, whatever, slapping the house, I say that's more of a juvenile thing.
It could be, very well could be.
That I'm not saying for sure that's what it is, but I believe that's what it could be because see what they can get away with. And I believe that my sighting was a juvenile, and as we call it, counting coup. See how close they can get to you without you noticing.
Henry, years ago, we were talking to somebody or discussion where we had talked about like when you actually see a Bigfoot, it's like a juvenile rite of initiation. Do you remember that from years ago? We were talking to somebody and they had made that theory.
I believe so. Yeah.
This is a long time ago. I mean,
I've heard that too.
Yeah.
But I believe that could be true. But like with my experience, I'm not out there to look for DNA to prove that they exist. I'm not out to capture one, other than on film if I ever decide to take a picture. Because one idiot, when I was saying in the Bigfoot Project at the time, I gave my thing. They are more like, how can I put it? The idiots say, well, I can get a picture. I would have taken a picture. Your mind is not working like that.
No, it's not.
It's not. And I'm saying idiots because this guy was an idiot. I would have grabbed my phone out of my pocket and got a picture. By the time you got your phone out and got the camera turned on and you go to take a picture, you're shaking. And the first thing it focuses on is that tree off to the side.
Which is honestly why, Bill, I think there's far more audio than there is video evidence. It's because the audio you usually set before you start, as opposed to the video. You're with video, you're limited by space. And with audio, you are too, to a point. But the data use of the audio is much less than it is for the video. So you're trying to meter as much video as you can. You're just not always having that thing on the go. Exactly. Either you're limited by battery or limited by capacity, and you just don't have those things running 24/7 on you. With audio, it's a little different, which is why we have more audio evidence, in my thought, than anything. But like you said, you put yourself in that position, you're not thinking at all about, oh my God, I got to get that camera out and hit the record button. No, it's, I got to survive. How the hell am I going to get out of here?
Maybe this next sighting I'll have, I'll just go, hey, hold on. Say cheese. Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah, and it'll be one of those found footage documentaries.
We're gonna have James Baker dress Velcro suit. We're gonna
Baker, you're right, buddy.
Yeah, right. Right.
I think James, you're right on that 100%. That's gonna end up being found footage.
Now, Jenny King just closed that the shaking of campers, vehicles, and tents could be amusing to the Sasquatch. Sure. Oh, I know it is. It's like, I'm here. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, right. Kind of like leaving the paper bag full of dog crap burning on somebody's front porch and you run away. And you're doing it for a joke just to see the reaction. I don't know if that's what the case is, but it seems to be a lot of circumstances where that may be the case. You slap on the tent and run away and see what the reaction is.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mhm.
How many times as kids we knocked on the neighbor's door?
Right.
Or
Yeah.
throw
No.
something from the bushes at the neighbor kid.
This Sasquatch version of Ding Dong Ditch.
I never did that. No. Yeah, I never did that.
I heard
Sure.
stories about you.
Yeah, I know you did. No, I know you did.
Well, speaking
Nope.
of stories, we have to take a break here quick to get our news segment in, folks. Sean Forker, Vance Nesbitt, James Baker, Henry May, Bill Rigby. We'll be right back right after the news break. Smoke them if you got them. Shake them if you need to. We'll be back in just approximately tonight, 7 minutes and 15 seconds. We'll see you on the flip side.
News team, assemble!
Well, let's see if we can get through this in one take. And I don't think so. You? Yeah, I don't think so. This is the Sasquatch Experience. Bizarro, more than bizarro type of news. I mean, this is bizarro. What's happening in the news? Let me look through some pages here in the newspaper. And, well, what do we got here? Oh, classified documents stored by the president in his garage and at his home and in a closet. Okay, so here's my thought. That's the classified documents. What would you trust your grandfather with, who was completely insane and you wouldn't even give him the keys to your car to go to the grocery store to get ice cream? I'm not very good at an Obama impersonation, but here, Joe, you take these classified documents on an engine that runs on water, because no one will believe you anyway. And here's another one, Joe. You can keep this at your home. It's titled Classified Sasquatch. No one will believe you on that one either. And here's another one, Joe. You can have this one. This is called Hollow Moon, and it's top secret classified. That you can keep in your garage by your Corvette. No, this is absolute insanity. But I digress. There's a policy here at the Sasquatch Experience that we do not discuss government politics. And here's why. We don't have enough raw steaks to go around to cover the black eyes from the big brawls that break out. So we stay away from the government politics. We do, however, get into the politics of Sasquatchery and watch the infighting begin between researcher here and researcher there. And I know more than you know, and I'm an expert, and no you're not, and yes I am, and no you're not, and yes I am, and no you're not. Again, I digress. After the break, we're going to discuss a Bigfoot story, because that's what we're here to talk about, out of Rochester, New Hampshire, that really confused me. So stick around. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Sasquatch Experience.
Wherever he laid his hat was his home. And when he died, oh, we left his was alone. Hey, Papa was a rolling stone. Wherever he laid his hat was his home.
Dr. Squatch, soapies you up and cleans your crotch. Feeling clean, smelling fresh, the girls will want to take off their dress. Look out, here comes the Dr. Squatch. No, you're not a superhero, but you can feel and smell fresh like one with Dr. Squatch soaps and shampoos. Many exciting scents and purposes to achieve a clean and odor-free you. Use our exclusive promo code DSQEXP to receive 20% off $20 or more. Dr. Squatch soap, square shape that feels great. Promo code DSQEXP. Dr. Squatch, soapies you up and cleans your crotch. Feeling clean, smelling fresh, the girls will want to take off their dress. Look out, here comes the Dr. Squatch. Now, this story out of the Rochester Post in Rochester, New Hampshire has me completely confused, as if Ozzy Osbourne was explaining to Joe Biden how nuclear fusion works. I was just like, wait, what now? What? Anyway, so the headline, and now this story was published in August of last year, and the headline is Mysterious Family of Bigfoot Spotted in Downtown Rochester. I'm like, okay, sounds interesting. So the article reads as follows. The Rochester Police Department has received several reports of Bigfoot sightings in the downtown area. Fearing possible attacks, concerned citizens and business owners must remain vigilant. Todd Reddick, owner of Skeleton Records, reports he saw a Bigfoot browsing the AC/DC section of his store. Unfortunately, no other witnesses were on site to back up his claims. Reddick is quoted as saying he was at least 7 feet tall. I tried to get a picture, but he was gone before I had a chance. Reddick suspects that there are several other Sasquatch inhabiting the downtown. Whether or not they are friendly remains unknown. Officer Brandon Kimbrough, Rochester's new community engagement officer, is encouraging residents to stay calm and keep their distance. He's quoted as saying, "We never thought we'd see anything like this in the downtown Rochester area. Until we make contact, we want everyone to stay safe. Our department will do everything we can to protect life and property." Okay, browsing the AC/DC section. Volunteers with Rochester Main Street have taken the issue seriously. Board Representative Matt Wyatt says the organization created a website to document Bigfoot sightings and track their whereabouts. See, bizarro. More bizarro than bizarro is bizarro. Browsing the AC/DC section in your record store. Okay, I'm going to put my fairy wings on and fly down there, and we'll check it out myself. Thanks for listening to this edition of Complete Strange Sasquatch Experience. We'll just go with Stranger Than Fiction news.
Well, that was a hell of a loaded segment, Vance. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Everybody.
All right, I got something to say on that.
Oh, please do. Please do.
All right. 2 winters ago, downtown Pittsburgh, from Christmas till February, there was a bear, a black bear, in downtown Pittsburgh, and nobody knew it. They caught it on a security cam one night as it was getting into a dumpster.
Yeah.
So they start checking other security cams around that area and found out it was there from about Christmas time until February.
Right.
Ended up catching it and transporting it down to Indiana County. But the thing is, it only came out at night and hit the dumpsters.
Yeah.
It lived in a small patch of woods, and I mean very small patch of woods during the day. So how not can a Bigfoot be in a town? I say they can't.
Look, dude. Look, I couldn't make heads or tails of this, which is why I think we need to get Sean Forker the gavel to call BS or not BS on a story of a Bigfoot browsing the AC/DC section in a record store. It's just like, how many Sasquatch have a record player to begin with? I just couldn't. This is bizarro.
First thing I would ask that person was, what color hair? Was it back? Or what?
He's back in black. Oh, you win. You get the trophy for the night, because I was like, what song is most appropriate that a Sasquatch will look for? Yeah, Back in Black. I love it. That's awesome.
I can't believe you want me to weigh in on this.
Yeah, please do. Yeah.
Story. But now, hear me out. There have been these stories, and Bill, the Uniontown in Fayette County, where Sasquatch has kind of been seen lumbering within the outskirts of the city area. You have at Texas, parts in Florida where these things have been seen eating out of the dumpsters of restaurants. So I don't want to say that more urban areas don't get any kind of activity. What I'd say is it's few and far between. It's probably opportunistic, but to have it going through the record department, I just
okay, but the point was, is this absolute, Bravo Sierra? Is this BS? Because the reports were this is in downtown Rochester, New Hampshire. Downtown.
Wait a minute. I got to stick up with that person reporting it. It is an ancient relic type humanoid, per se.
Right.
So, yeah, it's going to the old rock section.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry, I had to go there.
We're on there.
I've got a new best friend that we're going to hang out with. That's how this all works out.
Bringing folks together. That's what we do in this field.
That's true.
One mating call at a time.
Oh, no. Bill, speaking of bringing folks together, you do have some events and such going on that we want to talk about a little bit. So why don't I give it to you so we can take it away?
Oh, heck yeah. Coming up in March 25th in Hermitage, Pennsylvania. Yeah, Baker, you're supposed to come.
That's what she said. There's the train.
Oh, there's the train. I hear it.
I was warned.
Never
Thanks,
fails.
Baker.
Boy, that's late tonight.
Yeah,
it is.
When the train is late.
Oh, God.
But at my Penn, Ohio Paranormal Conference, March 25th of this year, it runs from 10 to 6. I have 6 speakers, bunch of vendors. My list of speakers: Brian and Terry Siege, Jamie and Jenny King,
Nice.
James Krug from Altoona,
All right.
Ed Kellerman, Dan Hagman, Mike Bellman. All right.
Well-known Pennsylvanians.
Right.
Most of them.
Most.
One's not. Mike Bellman's from New Jersey.
Yeah, that's right. Mike's from New Jersey. And Brian Siege? Did you say Brian Siege?
Yes.
He's not a Pennsylvanian anymore. He revoked
anymore. He's damn safe.
Yeah, he went to West Virginia.
No, say it right. West, my God, Virginia.
Well, he left us. He's not a Pennsylvanian anymore.
Wait a minute. Jamie and Jenny's out of Ohio.
But they're right on the border. We can forgive that. We can forgive that.
Hey,
Bill, what do they do?
Wait a minute. Sean, look at the comments. Look at the comments.
No,
see, Jamie, I stuck up for you,
You're
brother.
a border person, Jamie. You're a borderman.
Oh, there that goes.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is.
Oh,
I
man.
was warned on this one. But yeah, this is a really great lineup of speakers. And
Yeah, it is.
this event is actually starting to blow up big because I got people coming up from North Carolina, Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, New Jersey. A couple people supposed to be coming down from Canada, New York, of course, Ohio and West Virginia. And I'm just impressed with the amount of people that's saying they're coming to this.
And which event is that, Bill? Where's
The
that?
Penn, Ohio Paranormal Conference. And that's going to be right there in Hermitage, Pennsylvania at the Hickory VFW.
And that's in, right there.
Yeah, right there.
Yep. Okay. I did have the footage. That's what I was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And it's awesome. It's so awesome that I'm getting such a great response. Oh, and I got to announce the MC too. Mike Hartman.
Nice.
He'll be heartbroken if I didn't mention that.
Right.
My brother from another mother.
And
a different father too, by the way.
No.
But no, seriously, this event has just really took over, and I'm really shocked. It's the first one we're putting on of hopefully many.
Sure.
You know, and I'm just impressed with it. How well it's taken off, and the vendors are awesome. The ones I got,
right?
You know, I got Arthur's metaphysical, shirts, anything with Bigfoot, the cryptids, anything. It covers all the paranormal ends. And these vendors are awesome, that I got coming.
Now, is this your first one you're putting together yourself?
Yes.
No, very nice.
I did have help. I ain't gonna lie. Brian and Terry Seach did a lot of help.
Great
Dan
people.
Benoit has been marketing for me. Well, from East Coast Bigfoot Research Organization. He's coming up to spend his birthday up at it.
Oh, very nice.
But yeah, he's been doing a lot of marketing for it, and I'm very appreciative of everybody. Jamie and Jenny, they've been pushing it too. I got a lot of people keep pushing it. That helps, and that makes me feel good.
I'm sure it does. Right.
Well, Bill, you promote a lot of folks too, and you
Yeah.
you make
I
sure
try to support everybody. I believe that's. How can I put it? I want to support everyone that I believe in. Is how I want to put it. And I do. And I got a small circle in this cryptid paranormal circle of mine. There's a small circle I keep people in, and certain few, and other ones I'll keep to the outside. And there's a group that I don't even want to associate with. They just totally turn me against the way they think and act and treat other people.
Well, we're all in this together.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Whether we fully believe what each other are promoting, we're still in this together, right?
Right.
And
Right.
Incredibly.
We try to be.
Well, with the Seaches is great people. I mean, really, I just embraced the entire philosophy in which they have promoted. The Kings, are you kidding me? Between the two of them, the amount of work they put into things and the way they look at it, in the prism in which they look at, I would just be astounded just to have even those four people involved. Absolutely.
Oh my God, yes, Vance. It's an honor to know these people.
Right.
It really is. To me, it is, because the knowledge and how dedicated they are to this whole thing.
Right.
And it's, I don't think I can ever get to their level. I'm out there learning from them.
Right.
And believe me, I've learned a lot from them in the last few years. Yeah.
I don't know how much it is as a level, but as much as it is as a kinship. And I think there's a kinship, but when I first met Brian Seach, he just immediately bonded with me that it didn't matter what my opinion was. He just bonded with me, and then he realized and he sorted through a lot of the information which I gave him and the information in which he gave me, that the two of us just realized a lot of it meshed together. And he just kind of runs with it and says, you have a really good point. Let's talk about that point. And it was the same thing, when I chat with Jamie and Jenny. It's like, wow, you have a really good point. And that kind of, coalesces with what we've experienced over here. So let's run with it. And between those four people, I think you know where I'm coming from on that whole subject matter.
Yes, I do. 110%, Vance.
Right,
and,
right.
You know, with these people, as I do look up to them. I really do. And not bad for an old man looking up to younger people.
Yeah.
But
still learning. Virtuous
Constantly.
teaching cycle, man.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And they are. And when I watch them, like when Jamie does his lives, he does when he's out and about, or even when I'm out with him, I constantly watching how he's doing things, and he still sneaks pictures of me somehow. I don't catch it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. He's
what
magician photographer.
Right. But one thing that I get just for the four of them, it's one word, and it's called the enthusiasm. And that's what really makes it more enthralling for me to get involved, is because of the enthusiasm in which they present. And, it's like, that's a great way of looking at this whole subject matter, because, it can be very terrifying to have an experience, but the enthusiasm of the research that follows behind that makes it a little bit more calming, and you don't feel so isolated and alone in your experience. And that's kind of what I found out of this whole, four people in which you are speaking about experience, is that you don't feel so isolated.
All right. Here's what I'm going to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
You're 129 million% right.
Right.
You're going to give them
Jamie and Jenny are the true calm of the group of people. Their presence, they give off such a great vibe, a calming vibe. And so does Brian and Terry.
Right.
It's the vibes they give off. It makes you feel really good about what you're doing. And you want to do more and learn more from them. And I still want to get into the seat file room, or the S file room.
Right.
He has that file room, and I think I'll be lost for a couple years.
I got a standing invitation there. I got to take the time to go, but we'll go. You and I will go. They'll never get us out of there.
Yeah. Well, I'm probably going down next month, so you better prepare yourself. I want to get down there bad, not just to see their new place, and see them. But I definitely want to get into the S-File room, man. Oh my God, I'll be in heaven.
Who's being abducted right now? Who's going into custody?
No, it's just I'm on a busy street.
Okay.
Are they coming for you, Baker?
No.
Not this night.
They run silent when they decide to go through my door.
Okay.
They're never silent when they come through mine.
Joe, get on the ground.
Yeah, but no. The other event I'm going to put on in April. It's going to be April 20th to the 23rd. It's going to be. I did one last year at Salt Fork Campground there in Ohio. And the reason I did it was because that's where my sighting was.
Mm-hmm.
And we're doing it again this year. We had about 60 campers there last year.
That's a decent amount.
Yeah, right?
And
wow.
Well, I don't just invite the people from the Pennsylvania Bigfoot Project. I invite everybody, whoever wants to come. It's $5 a person per day, so it's cheap to camp. It's primitive. Bring your own food.
Nice.
We do have a shower to use over in the main camp area or at the marina. So you definitely get a shower so you're not stinking up your neighbors.
But, this might be something I'm going to have to partake in. This definitely might be something I have to partake in.
Stink up the neighbors?
No, yeah, definitely stink up the neighbors.
But no, seriously, like we do a nightly group camp thing or campfire thing, but Friday evening we're going to do something a little different. It's called a powwow.
Okay.
The powwow is for question and answers. Mike Hartman, myself, and Mary Fabian will be there, and we'll try to answer everyone's questions. For the newbies, or even the experienced researchers on how we think on stuff. Saturday night we're going to do a live podcast like we did last year from there. But like I said, I invited other groups, and they came last year, different groups. And, at times you get several different groups together. Somebody's going to have an ego trip or whatever. We did not have that.
Nice.
And like I said from the beginning, everyone's welcome. We're going to get along great. If you want to go researching, go researching. So the first night, Thursday night, which I was kind of shocked at how many people showed up on Thursday, because I figured people were working and all this. But the majority of the people showed up on Thursday, and it was raining a little bit. Turned around, the rain quit around 12:30, 1 o'clock, but it was still kind of muddy. We were pushing vehicles in and getting them into people in their parking areas and that, because it's camp wherever at that group camp area. Well, different ones decided they're going out that night researching it. They were running into each other here, there, and all that. So Friday night, with great wisdom, we decided to make up some groups to go out. Now, we had several inexperienced people there. So I got some experienced people, see if they are willing to take the inexperienced out and show them how to do it. And they did. Everyone was very cooperative. And I says, all right, you guys decide amongst yourselves that who's going where, which area and all that. Spend half hour, 45 minutes, an hour. You guys decide how long you're going to spend at places, and just go and enjoy yourself. See what you can find. Well, they still ran into each other. It still ended up big groups, so it was an experiment. It kind of worked, but didn't work. But that's fine. We had this one kid from Kentucky, I believe. He came up with his in-laws just to go camping. He didn't believe in Bigfoot. Well, him and another guy decided to take a run down the Buckeye Trail. They get down there. They found a print. He comes back up. He took a picture of it. I couldn't see exactly what it looked like in that picture. Well, I asked one guy from the central part of PA that was there, and I says, "You're very experienced with prints and everything." He says, "Yeah." I says, "Can you go down and see what the hell is going on down there?" I says, "I can't make it out in this picture." He said, "Neither can I." So they went down, and he come back up. He says, "They're casting it." I went, "Really?" He says, "I still don't know what it is." Well, oh my God, Jenny! I just read what she wrote. But anyhow, so he casted it, and I says, "Well, wait till tomorrow to bring it up, because I know what I did. I screwed up on mine." So the next day he went down, he got it. He brought it up to the area table. He's cleaning the dirt off, and I'm looking at it, and I went, "Holy shit, that's a handprint." Like it had a hand down like this here. Put his knuckles down in and got the thumb and finger out. And it was huge. He goes, "Is it really?" I went, "Yeah, that is a handprint. I've seen a casting of one like that before." This kid is now a Bigfoot believer.
That's all it takes.
Yes, just that thing. So, and the way everyone was at the camp, renewed my faith in humanity, tell you the truth. How everyone got along. and shared their ideas and their experiences and the whole 9 yards. It was, it was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm making this a regular event every year.
You got yourself some busy events, Bill. You're going to keep yourself.
All right.
I hope, and I got a few other events I'm going to. I'm speaking at one more in June 24th. It's the Milton Loop Bigfoot and UFO barbecue.
Okay.
At Milton Loop near Dayton, PA.
Mm-hmm.
They're putting it back on. They didn't have it last year because the owner passed away. And the family, when it was come close to time to have it, they realized they didn't do nothing to prepare it. None of them did it. He did it just about the whole 9 yards of it himself. So they're doing it now this year. They're bringing it back. And I said, yes, I'll speak when they ask me. I got no problem with it. I'll be going to Punxsutawney in August. I'm not speaking, but that's the Jefferson County Bigfoot Paranormal Expo. They put one on last year because the Milton Loop canceled, and they threw it together. I sent them lists of stuff to help put the event together, and I went there and spoke with there too. And Mike Hibbert got a hold of me and said, it's on, here's the date. I said, send me a vendor's form. I will come and support you. Because that kid and his wife put it on last year in a short amount of time, threw it together, and it turned out beautiful. And so I'll definitely help support them some more this year. And I will be at the OBC too.
Oh, sweet.
I'm going to be a vendor there.
Very nice.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I kind of fell into that one. I wasn't going to. But my friend, she had a table there, and when she reserved it, she was all fine with it, but then turned around. She found out her daughter graduates from IUP that weekend.
Oh, okay.
She goes, Bill, if you want it, you can have it. I'm like,
that's awesome.
So I bought it off of her.
Oh, okay.
But I'm going to have fun. That's shortly after my camp out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be there. I'm mainly going to find out information from other people. I don't care if I sell anything.
Right.
I just want to learn more from other people, learn of more sightings, whatever.
Right.
That's what it's all about anyhow, is learning from others.
It is. And that's why we do this. And that's why you do your podcast. And, just get everybody together to have a conversation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Bill, I'd like to ask you one question before we sign off for the evening.
I don't know.
Exactly. Zero being absolute negative and 100% is 100 being absolute positive. The experience that you had, where do you rate that on? Yes, this is an actual entity and it does exist. Where are you at on that scale between 0 and 100?
300.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. Thanks for that answer.
No, I'm being dead serious.
Yeah, I believe it.
Like I started to say earlier, I don't care about the DNA anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about, hey, we got to get one. No, I didn't even believe in capturing one.
Right.
No, I don't care. I want to know what they're doing, how they're doing it, and why they're doing it now.
Right.
That's what I want to learn from them.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to learn how they're so stealth at such a size.
Yeah.
they are very stealth-like in the woods.
Right.
And I really want to learn more from them. That's, you can't still teach this old dog new tricks.
I think
so you feel like you're a lucky individual for having that experience?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes, I do. I feel very fortunate. I was able to see, there's a lot of people out there that have not seen it, and they've been looking for years.
Mm-hmm.
Fred Saluga is the one.
Yeah, right.
He hasn't seen one.
Mm-hmm.
But he's still out there searching. 72 years old.
Fred's a good guy. He's a good guy.
I talked to him on the phone this morning. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he is. I got nothing but love and respect for that man.
Yeah, no, he's a good guy. Absolutely. Well, that's amazing. Well, I'm happy to hear that was your response at 300%, because I kind of figured that's what your answer may have been, or over 100%. But, you hear a lot of stories, and there's still a little bit of question of doubt of, well, it might have been somebody that was, snooping into our campsite. But, to hear what you were, experienced, it just makes that drive a little bit harder for me to get out there and maybe have an experience myself. I don't know if I want to have that experience, but, to have that confirmation that, yes, we are talking about something 100%. And that's,
you don't want it as close as I had it.
No, probably not. Probably not. I would like to see it through a spotter scope at 300 yards away. Yeah, I agree.
Sean can attest to being, it is life changing. Once you see it, it does change you a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure it does.
People say, yeah, right. No, it
yeah.
After I got over this, sort of over the PTSD, because I still have problems with it at times.
Mm-hmm.
But it's driving me more than ever.
Right.
One of my best friends even told me he has never seen me driven so much on doing something.
Right.
And you get out there and do it, man. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
I try. I was just out this weekend in 8-degree weather.
That's when you know you've been bit by the bug.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
It's like a couple times I was thinking, am I crazy or what?
Bill, where can our listeners find out more about you? Where can they go to follow your research?
Well, they can go to my page, personal page. It's Bill Rigby. Or you can go to Agents of the Unexplained group page. And I got a YouTube channel for my podcast. Or you can go to Pennsylvania Bigfoot Project. I'm the co-executive director there from the western side of the state. Bob Walls is on the eastern side of the state. Sort of runs it, but we run it together for Mary, because Mary stepped back. She needs time, because she spends 12 hours a day with the group, not getting nothing done at home. And there's things she wants to do.
It's a commitment. It really is.
And with 17,500 members, it's hard. It is hard.
Mm-hmm.
Bake, Henry, any final thoughts or questions you have for Bill?
I guess just, go ahead, Bake.
No,
all right. I was just going to say, Pennsylvania, from what I have understood, I used to live in Pennsylvania. I didn't even know there were Bigfoot in Pennsylvania until years later. So, some fascinating stuff going on there.
There's, I was up in the Allegheny Mountains, Cook Forest. I was down at Forbes. This whole state, even my area here, they're everywhere. And someone that said, well, how many do you think we got? I don't know. But go with the sighting count? Too many.
More than one. How about
Yes.
that? We safely say more than that.
I'd say
Answer
more
that
than 100.
mind-numbing
7.
stupid question.
Yeah.
It's 7.
It's 7. No, because there's 9 in one area I'm researching.
There you go. See, he's got numbers. He's got
There's
numbers.
9 in one area I'm researching. How do I know that? They told me. Not the Bigfoot, the people.
The people. Baker, what do you got for Bill?
First, I want to thank you for coming on, and secondly, I really like the story your encounter. And the thing is like a lot of the things you said kind of follow through with a lot of things me and Sean have witnessed ourselves, and also the things that when we talk about witnesses, you know, you have a really good attitude about that, because like everybody is always like, where's the recording? Well, you don't think of that in the moment. You just think of like, you know, do I die now? Do I run towards it? Do I what? You know, you don't think about pressing your phone or doing all that other stuff. If you were lucky to have a game cam behind you that was running, you got lucky. But in general, that's why, like Sean said, it's always more audio than video.
Well, I got a off-brand type GoPro camera given to me for Christmas. If I can get the waterproof casing off, I'm going to get the SD card in it, and it's going to be mounted on my backpack when I'm in the woods.
Sure. It's a good place for it.
Yeah. What's happening behind me? I don't know. So that's where it's going to go once I ever figure out how to get that hard case off.
I got a great story for you about that off air sometime.
I just wouldn't. I wouldn't if it's running towards you. Go, oh no, I got to turn around so my butt's facing it.
Oh boy!
Yeah, that's it.
You might get some samples you weren't counting on.
Okay,
Right.
Okay, folks, you've been listening to the Sasquatch Experience. Sean Forker, James Baker, Henry May Vance Nesbitt, and our guest tonight, Bill Rigby. Henry, take us out, buddy.
Y'all
Henry.
be good or be good at it.
All right, there you have it, folks. Folks, catch us on Facebook, Instagram, Sasquatch Experience, Squatch EXP on Twitter. Bill, thanks again, buddy, for coming on the show.
Yeah, thank you.
We got to have you on for a part 2, and folks, we'll see you.
All right.
You've been listening to Sasquatch Experience. Please rate and review wherever this podcast is consumed. To share your experience, visit us on Facebook or email us, squatchexperience@gmail.com. Keep on squatching.